University of Westminster in 2016 with a BA in English Language and Literature. The reason that I chose that particular subject was because I really loved reading growing up. I loved to read, I loved to write. English was my favorite class, and I had that foundation to become a writer, but I wanted to build on it to get to that next level. Throughout my time at university, that career ambition never faltered. I still wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be immersed in all things literary. I just wanted to be a writer. That was it, really. That was my main career goal. The career that I did end up in, however, has been communications and social media. What I enjoy the most about my role has to be the opportunity to write and to be creative almost on a daily basis. Whether it's writing articles, it's writing human interest stories, or copy for social media. It's constantly having to be creative and produce and create content. And another great thing about communications is that communications is always at the heart of any organization. So I get to be involved in anything and everything that my organization currently has ongoing. And that's also a brilliant aspect to my job because it means that my days are never the same. It's always varied and it's always different. The biggest challenge that I faced when it came to applying to my different roles has to be my lack of experience in the particular industry that I'm applying to. So while one can argue that communications is universal in terms of skills and knowledge, it does differ from industry to industry. So communications for academia is different than working in communications for a private sector company. And I think that was definitely a challenge for me at the time. One piece of advice that I would pass on to current and future students is to be flexible and open-minded when it comes to careers and not restrict yourself into one career path. Because especially for us in the more artistic or creative sectors, it's important to keep in mind that our skills are transferable and we can utilize them in a variety of different roles. So I think flexibility and open-mindedness is key. The main skill that I gained from my time at Westminster that feeds into my job on a daily basis has to be my writing skill and the way of how to approach stories, how to structure them, how to represent my characters well and in a comprehensive way comes into play almost on a daily basis in my job. So I am so grateful to have been able to be exposed to that. In terms of extracurricular activities, I opted to pursue photography and videography as part of my extracurricular. And that has come extremely in handy because to be a well-rounded communications individual, you have to have photography and videography skills. Even if they're just basic skills, they have to be there. One class that stands out from my time at university has to be my writing fiction class because I remember being surrounded by all these peers who were creative and phenomenal writers, and we were tasked with writing a short story. And I just remember all the ideas that were bouncing around the room made me feel that I had to push myself to my creative limit in order to come up with something that would be on par with my superb peers. And I remember pushing myself back then, and I came up with a really unique idea. And that has fed into my way of thinking today, where I'm constantly trying to think creatively and out of the box in order to cut through that noise that's currently present on social media and on the internet and be able to represent my organization to the best of my ability.